In this video, we're going to be finding the area of shaded regions. In this first drawing, we need to recognize that we have two triangles. We have a larger triangle, and inside the larger triangle, we have a smaller triangle. And if we want to find the shaded region, it's a shaded region. Basically, we need to find the area of the big triangle and cut out. We're going to cut out the smaller triangle, and it will leave me the leftover area between the larger triangle and the smaller triangle. So we are going to be finding the area of the big triangle and cutting out the area of the little triangle, and it will leave me with the shaded area. So we need to understand that when we say we're cutting out that smaller triangle, cutting it out means subtracting. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be subtracting the area of the big triangle minus the area of the little triangle to tell me what the area of the shaded area that is left over is. Okay, so we've got to remember what the area of a triangle is. So if you do remember the formula for the area of a triangle, it is 1/2 the base times the height. So we are going to calculate that for both the big triangle and the little triangle. Okay, so the base, we have to understand that the base of the big triangle, it's the one we're looking at first, the big triangle, base of that is going to be the 12 centimeters. But it also is the base of the smaller triangle. So both the large triangle and the smaller triangle have the same base. So the height will be different though. The height of the larger triangle, which will be all of this space, the larger is going to be 8 plus 5. What's 8 plus 5? That's 13, right? And then the height of the smaller triangle is just going to be this area, so it will just be 8. Okay, so let's fill in all of those values that we've kind of identified. Okay, here we go. So 12 times 13 would be the base and height of the larger one. So the base of the larger one is 12, the height of the larger one is 13, and we put those values into our equation. Okay, and then we also need to find the values for the little triangle. Okay, so I've got little triangle is going to be a base also of 12, but the height of the smaller triangle is 8. So I've got 12 and 8 plugged in here. And of course, we're going to be subtracting these two values. So we just need to work it out. Just get your calculator out and work it out. So 1/2 of 12 is 6. And 1/2 of 12 is also 6 on both sides. We keep working out. 6 times 13 is 78. 6 times 8 is 48. And we subtract the two. So the difference between the area of the big triangle and the area of the little triangle is equal to 30 centimeters squared. So that is the area of the shaded region. This next problem has given us a picture of a square with circle essentially drawn inside of it. That's how we need to think about these two half circles. I've got a half circle here, I've got a half circle there, but if I put those together, they make a full circle. So I've got a square, and I'm going to cut out these circle pieces, and then they want me to find what this blue area is equal to. What is all that blue area that's left over after I cut the circle out of the square? So we need to remember what our equations are. Our formulas for the area of a square is a length times width. Our formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we need to remember that the length and width of the square are the same. We've got 11 inches here and 11 inches here. And the radius of this circle. Okay, so the radius is from the center of the circle to the side of the circle. Well, that right there, little strip right there, is exactly equal to half of the side of this square. So what is half of 11? Half of 11 is 5.5. So that is going to be the length of my radius here, 5.5. So let's go ahead and plug all those numbers in. Let's see here. We're doing length times width and um, length times width and pi r squared. And we are subtracting those. We're taking this square, we're going to subtract out the circle, and it's going to leave me with that shaded area. So now let's plug in those numbers that we came up with. We've got 11 times 11. That's the length and width of the square. And we have pi times 5.5 squared, because 5.5 squared is the radius of that circle. And we just keep crunching the numbers. So what is 11 times 11? 121. And then we've got pi times 5.5 squared. And you can do that in your head if you'd like, or you can use your handy dandy calculator and crunch out the number 30.25. So 30.25 would go right there. We're multiplying those numbers, and we continue to just work it out. So 121 minus pi times 30.25 on our handy dandy calculator tells us that the final answer is going to be 25.966. And we can round that to 2 decimal places. So that means that the area of the leftover shaded area is equal to 25.97 inches squared. This last problem is finding the area of the shaded region that is the difference between a square and 4 circles. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 circles. So we are going to have to find the area of a square, and we're going to have to find the area of all 4 of the circles. And then we will subtract the 2, and that will give us the leftover shaded area that is around the circles. All that blue area, gray area. Okay. So, but we've got to figure out what is the length and width of the square. So let's think about that. How can we figure out the length and width of the square? Okay, so we have this 6-inch radius, the 6-inch radius right there. Well, there's also a 6-inch radius right there. And there's a 6-inch radius right there. And there's also a 6-inch radius right there. So that means that we have 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So 6 times 4 is equal to 24. And of course, the radius of any circle, it doesn't change around the circle. There's going to be a radius of 6 right there and a radius of 6 right there. So again, we'll have 6 and 6 and 6, 6. So the sides of this square are equal to 24 on both sides. So that means that we are going to have 24 times 24 for our length and width. Okay, and of course, I'm also going to plug in the 6 right here that they gave us as the radius. The radius of a circle is a radius of 6. We just keep crunching those numbers down. We are going to be subtracting that. So we're going to subtract the area of the whole square, and we're going to cut out or subtract off the 4 circles, and that will leave us with the shaded area. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to crunch the 24 squared. That is going to give us 576. So 576. Where'd my marker go? 576 minus 4 times pi times 6 squared. And let's see what calculation I came up with. Okay, so it's going to be 4 times pi times 6 squared. It's going to give us a calculation of 452.39 maybe. Okay, and then we're going to subtract 576 minus the 452.39, and that is going to give us 123.61. Our units are inches, so inches squared. And that would be the area that is left over after we have a square, we cut out 4 circles, and all this leftover area that is around the circles still inside the square. That area is equal to 123.61 inches squared. Okay. You have a great day. But before you leave, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and the like button, and that will help other people to be able to find this math information when they need it too.